No, I won't ever let you down. I promise you that I'll hold on. I know that it gets tough sometimes, so I'm here to remind you, love. The sun will shine on you wherever you go, wherever you go. And when it gets dark, stay strong. You're never alone. You're never alone. The sun will shine. The sun will shine.
We got our little guest star today. You gonna hang out with us? We're gonna talk about interior design and all that kind of stuff, huh? You wanna lay here with me? Hey babe, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Christina DiStefano. I've got Charlie here with me today. Say hi, babies. She just came in from a romp in the snow and she's a little tired, so I'm hoping that she'll just relax here while we record this video. Or maybe not. I think she's gonna try to jump off the stairs. Are you gonna stay here? You gonna stay here? You wanna just say hi and then you wanna go do your own thing? Okay. Say hi. Say hi. Hello. Yes, my baby girl. I love you. I love you so much. Yes, I do. You give me kisses. I love you. I love you, my baby girl. All right, let's go. You can go do your thing. You're a good girl. Puppy kisses. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Christina DiStefano. That was my new puppy, Charlie. So she's been keeping me, I still have these puppy kisses on my face. She's been keeping me really, really busy it's been a week and a couple days on last Wednesday. So yeah, it's been 10 days, I guess. Is that right? Yeah. So it's been 10 days. I needed that tea. 10 days, and we have been learning so much. I'm so proud of her. But that's not why we're having this video. So we're having this video. I pulled some images from Pinterest, and I've been looking around at our place, and I've been talking with a friend of mine, Colette, who also lives in Pound Ridge here. Hi, Colette, if you're watching today. And we've been talking about sort of creating, potentially creating a business together, what that would look like, how that could just like naturally come to fruition. And part of that, as you know, is I've been wanting to open a boutique here in my village in Pound Ridge. And I've been sort of like looking at our home and looking at, what those images that I bring to you every week here, those images that I source on Pinterest, and what all those things have in common, and sort of like what is the style that I am drawn to most. And as you know, I'm a lover of neutrals. We did the neutral video a couple weeks ago. This is kind of an extension from that. It's black and white and full of character is what I'm calling it. Because the images that I've pulled here, there's a lot of ivory, there's a lot of white, off-white, sort of like those nice neutral linen sort of colors. And then it's complemented by a lot of black or really dark wood that resembles black. But it's also full of character. And I think the biggest reason why a lot of the black and white has so much character is introducing the warm wood tones, because we are very black and white. Like we have a lot of black and white focused decor inside of our home. But because we have such warm wood floors, they're the actual floors from the 1950s in this house. And then we've got a lot of like wood elements and wood pieces of furniture throughout that lend to adding that warmth that creates this certain vibe, that creates this certain style. And so that's what I'm sharing with you today. I want to go through these images. I just want to bring you some inspiring images. And, I feel like this time of the year, if you're in like the Northern Hemisphere, Joanna, I know you're in Australia and it's basically still probably sweltering hot weather for you right now. But if you're here, like especially when I look outside of my window, I see a lot of the colors that are in these images when I look outside of my window. So I think that's probably why I'm so drawn to these images, because part of like your interior design journey is using and being inspired by what is right outside your door. So when I've talked in the past, and when we've talked about like design rules, I had the video where we talked about add character to a boring space. I've had videos where I teach you like design tips, how to actually plan designing your home. And one of the main things, in addition to like using 3 to 5 adjectives to describe your space, like how you want your space to feel. So in addition to that, it's always, what do you see when you look outside? Like, what is your surrounding environment? And that comes to play. That's a dialogue between the inside of your home and the exterior of your home. Like, what's happening outside? What's happening in your natural environment? Or are you in nature? Are you in the country? Are you in a wooded area? Are you at the beach? Are you in an urban area? Are you in a metropolitan area or in a downtown area? What is happening outside of your door? So when I look outside of my door, I see trees with no leaves. I see some pine trees. I see a lot of brown. I see a lot of black, and I see a lot of white because we have a lot of snow right now. So these images, I feel, have been very inspired by what I've been seeing every day. We've had snow in Pound Ridge for, I don't even know how long now. I think it's been a couple weeks at least. So this is what I see. And so when I look at these images and as I talk to you about them, I see where this inspiration is coming from. So I just want to go through these with you. And while baby girl sleeps down there, she's being so good. And let's just have a nice fun chat, because right now things are so crazy for me, as you know from last week's video with this little one. She's keeping me really busy. I don't want to miss videos for you, but at the same time, I want to bring you something really interesting to get you thinking about your space. And I think it becomes then more of a conversation about like home and about these images and about what is inspiring about these images. And I think there's a lot of little details you can pick up. Maybe your palette is not black and white. Maybe it's not neutral, but there are things within these images that you can pick up on. And I'm talking about texture. I'm talking about being cohesive while pieces are still extremely eclectic and varied pieces from various time periods and various styles and how they all work together. So when I see the first image, I can see, I find this very inspiring. I like the little small wonder. So that's a thing that I always say to incorporate when you're doing any kind of vignette. You want to have a little interesting object. So the first interesting object that really catches my eye is this little planter on the table. So you have that. That's the thing to naturally inspire your curiosity and bring you in. Then you've got things of various sizes. A couple weeks ago, we talked about incorporating a triangular shape, so that way you have movement with your eyes, and that is also something to create balance. I'm sure as we go through these images, you'll see that same kind of shape. So I don't want to be redundant there because we've already discussed that, but I just want to bring that up so you're always looking for that, because when you're styling and designing a space, you do want to think about moving your eye up higher, and that's why people will put like drapes, they'll put them up really, really high to bring your eye up and give the illusion of a higher ceiling. They are not doing that here. What they are doing, though, that I like and I find interesting is it is on par. It's in alignment with that oversized tall mirror on the wall, which if you look closely at it, and again, you can find all these images in the folder assigned to this, black, white, and full of character. You can find these images if you want to look at them even closer. But the detail of this mirror, I think, is what really makes this interesting. And then you've got like the curve of the table legs. That's a curve that we are not seeing that often. Like what you would normally expect would be a curve, or not a curve, maybe like a straight-legged table. But I like how this curve is incorporated, because that gives you something a little different and a little unexpected. And that's something that we had talked about a couple weeks ago. I also like the little stool. So we're injecting a little pattern, a little element, combined with the element of pattern, a carving, the detail in the mirror. And then also you get the same thing on this black lamp. So you're just really moving the eye around with black and you're moving the eye around with like the off-white and the white, just kind of providing a soothing backdrop. And then your eyes move around with the wood. But the wood is what's really going to warm that up. Here's another one. I love this image. This is to me is kind of like middlism. And we've talked about middlism before. And I think we should bring that up because I think a lot of these images are going to be very middleist in style. And I feel like this is like where I fall into that category because here's middlism. Like this is a great example. And you know what? If we flip back to this other image, I would say that's middlism as well. Because what middlism focuses on, and it's not something that, it's not a common term. It's just something we've kind of talked about here a couple times because I'm not a minimalist and I'm not a maximalist. I'm just somewhere in the middle. So I just called myself like a middleist or something like that once before, and it just kind of stuck. This is middlism to me. You've got objects with a lot of detail, and then you've got a really old like vintage or antique mirror. You've got like this intricate little chair. You've got kind of the fireplace that looks really rustic, all the detail of the fireplace, yet it all feels very minimal. And then you've got a mixture of a wood chair with like the rattan or the woven rattan there, mixed with a fabric chair. And then you've got the wood table in the back with some walls that have like a definite texture to it. So that to me is like middlism. Oh, and let's not forget, you've got a nice, softer sort of wool rug on the floor and then the wood planks. So there's a lot of little movement. There's a lot of little detail happening in here. Yet it's not maximalist, but it's a little too much detail to be a minimalist. So middleist it is. Another middleist example. So if you're looking at middleist, and I should probably change the name of this video because it's not just black and white and full of character, but it is. It's like, it's middlism as black and white and full of character because that's what middlism is. Middlism is the recognition and the showing of or the expression of detail and intricacy in objects and keeping things interesting. Yet it's not like a maximalist. I don't want to say a maximalist is overdone because I see maximalist rooms and I think they're amazing. I love them. I'm not a maximalist though, but I have a deep appreciation for them. Same way I have a deep appreciation for a minimalist style. Would I live in a home like that? No, I need more character. I need more detail. And that's what middlism is. It's acknowledging. So even though we're in a minimalist palette, black and white, we have a lot of character, a lot of detail. So, you've got this picture. I love this pillar, whatever this is right here. It has feet on the bottom. It's so crazy, but it's such a cool piece with a very minimalistic fireplace and mantle, as well as the vignette on the mantle. You've got another little small wonder right there, that little black dish. No carpet, very minimal style, but still intricate. You've got the detail on the door, the wood door. So there we go. There's another example of that. So you could certainly do this on a minimalist palette, but I think you would not have as many intricate, detailed pieces. I think the pieces would be more clean lines, where these lines are complicated lines. So this one is a little more on the minimalist side, but if you're looking at, okay, so you see this woman here in her like living room. I don't know if she's the decorator here, but I love the way that she seamlessly blends in and is so cohesive with this design. But if you look at her fireplace and fireplace mantle, this is definitely not a minimalist style. There's not a lot of furniture here, but the pieces are interesting. The pieces have a lot of history. They have a lot of character. So in that, to me, then I think that's more of a middleist. And we don't see the entire room. There could be so much more going on. But I wanted to point this out because while this still looks a little minimalist, I do think that it's a little more on the middleist side of the spectrum because of all those details, because of that fireplace, because of all the little interesting things that are on top of that fireplace mantle. So this one is feels a little like kind of like French countryside sort of rustic feeling with the table. And it is definitely not maximalist, but this is definitely not minimalist. It feels warm. And that's what I think the thing is with middlism. It has a hominess and a warmth to it without feeling like maximalist, without feeling like it has too much. I feel like it's like the perfect Libra vibe, because I'm a Libra, and you're like, you want it to be cozy and beautiful and interesting, but yet it's got to be perfectly balanced. And I think of that with like creating, like, let's say you're creating a piece of art. You are looking for a balance of the positive and the negative space. So in a room like this, the negative space is going to be the space that's not like the void space. So like the white space is the negative space. And I can't remember if I shared this image before. I don't think I did, but this to me is also a really good example. All these examples are great when it comes to middlism, because you can see here that there's a lot of intricate detail in everything. And that I think kind of, this video I think is really aligned with the neutral eclectic video. So if you're watching this or you're watching this channel for the first time, that's definitely a video you want to go back and watch, because I think that could bring a lot of value to you as well. But these images this one could fit right into that, because you've got so many interesting pieces here that while you're neutral, you're definitely not boring. Look at this amazing light fixture. I can't tell if that is like a vintage or antique piece or a modern contemporary piece, but I love that. You've got all that beautiful negative space with the walls and the drapes that kind of blend in, which I love doing that, because I feel like it really maximizes the space, makes the space feel bigger. So if you have a smaller room, if you want to go the drape route and have that beautiful fabric, then you want to make sure that is a similar color to the wall. It will just make the room feel bigger, but yet it still gives a level of warmth because it's adding that texture and that fabric into your space. Another great middlism. So you've got all the detail of the pieces of furniture, the very cool light fixture, the linen drapes, the high ceilings. Everything is kind of tonal, even though it's black and white, it's very subdued. It's not high contrast, which I think also lends to that middlism feeling, to where it's like you're kind of balancing out, you're finding your spot somewhere in the middle. So rather than being like high contrast or over like too many things, you're kind of like teeter-tottering into this like nice, calm, soothing middle place. I love the black floors here. Like you can see, they're like weathered black floors. I actually thought about doing that in this house. I think it's such a cool thing. And even as the black starts to get scuffed up and come up, I love that. I love it so much. I love weathered things. Our floors are really weathered here. Like I said, they're the original floors from the 50s. And I think this is the original stain too. They're like scuffed up and beaten up, and there's like little dark spots and light spots and everything. And I love it. I love it. It just adds so much character. And so I just wanted to also show you just a few little elements that could then kind of like, if you're wanting to go this route, or maybe these are things you've already been looking at, but pieces of art like this, like really simply framed pieces of art that are just really like toned down. It's black and white, or it's like an ivory and white, but I love this little piece of artwork. And then you can see just different objects. We had that design your home on a dime or something like that. And I showed you that you can just find different pieces of paper, different pieces of ephemera, different little notes and things like that, and just frame those things. You know, I've even framed pieces that I took out from a magazine and stuff like that, just like beautiful pictures that I took and framed that with like letters. Like you could totally do this. You could take like a beautiful letter, and you could go to the thrift store and buy some photography books and tear a piece out of the book, mount it on a piece of white paper and put a frame around it. And it looks like really cool art. Also, don't forget about little details and small wonders. I love all these little objects here. Like this little hand is It's like creepy, but beautiful at the same time. This would be really cool. You could write a list of places where you want to go. And if you want to make it interesting, write it with the hand, like I'm right-handed, but you could write it with your left hand. So then that way it looks interesting. It doesn't look like just your regular handwriting. It almost looks like childish handwriting or messy or unusual handwriting. So try writing it like that, just to make it interesting. Different postcards. Like everywhere you go in New York, they give you the bill, like the bill at the end of the meal, the check. And they typically have like a really cool postcard attached to that. Postcards from restaurants, I've done that. Also, just collecting cool pots. And you know what? If you don't have, go to a thrift store and buy some cheap flower pots and whatnot, objects, that are like in really obnoxious colors that are just like $1 or $2, and then go buy some chalk paint from Home Depot and paint some of those. Paint them all black, paint them all white, paint them, chalk paint you can get in different colors. But the thing I like about chalk paint is that it has a texture to it. So those are just some little ideas of what you could do. Oh, one more. I just want to share this because I have done this. Like back in the 90s, I had an apartment and I actually wrote a line of poetry on the wall. And so when I saw this image, I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. That is something that I did. So maybe there's a line that you could write like from a favorite song or a line from a poem that you love or a quote that you love, and write it in like your best handwriting with like an oil pastel, the oil pastels, or a black crayon, and just write like a beautiful thing on your wall, and do that right beside a painting. There's so many opportunities to get creative. Oh my gosh, I am so inspired. I am feeling so creative now after watching this. I was actually really tired. Little Charlie wore me out today. But now after seeing all these images, I'm like, ooh, what will I do? What will I create? And I hope that's what you feel too. Because remember, if we're nurturing our homes, when you nurture your home will nurture you back. It is your place to get creative. Let me be the first person to tell you to just go get some canvases at one of the craft stores. You can get mini sizes, get some paint, maybe challenge yourself to just have fun. So I want you to get creative. That is my challenge for you this week. Can you get creative with your home? What kind of things can you do? Yeah, I feel like even though we had a video, and I hope this isn't like all over the place, but I'm really starting to want, now that, you all are here and you're watching these videos and more of you are watching to the end, I want to present little design challenges to you. So even though we just saw a video that was about black and white, full of character and middlism, I want to challenge you to look at your home. See if there's things you can take, see if there's things you can remove, see if there's artwork that you can make, see if there's artwork that you already maybe have and you just need to assemble it and apply it to a frame. Go to the thrift store, see if there's pots that you can find there. Maybe you can paint them with chalk paint. I want to inspire you to be creative this next week and the weeks to come forward, because we're still in wintertime. We still got to channel our creativity right now. That's what's going to get you through to spring. And spring, you're going to feel like a whole new refresh of creativity. All right, babe. On that note, I'm going to say sending you so much love from Pound Ridge. Cheers. Have a great week. Oh, she's awake. Say bye. Say bye, baby girl. Looky. Say bye. Bye, everybody.